Pay attention. Silencing the truth is no longer an option. In the glaring fluorescent lights of a hospital ward, what was planned in the dark is now being confessed. Someone who plotted against you is now lying in a hospital bed, their body disintegrating as quickly as their web of deceit, because the universe has spoken. This is divine intervention, not a coincidence. With the IV drip signaling time like a cosmic countdown, the hospital bed has turned into their seat of judgment. Once cloaked in deceit, their lips are now revealing every single detail of their actions, including every conspiracy, co-conspirator, and attempt to stop your fate. Don't be misled. There is nowhere to run to avoid this karma. The punishment is being executed with perfect accuracy, and the universe has rendered its decision. This hospital bed confession will bring down their entire house of cards, and those who believed they could play with your path are now facing the harshest penalties. Those who moved against you were always bound for this fate. Panic spreads like wildfire throughout their network as they confess. Desperate messages flood cell phones, and covert meetings are held to repair the harm caused by the collapsing plan. Carefully crafted alibis are destroyed by the confession from that hospital bed, which exposes the lies that underpin their whole scheme. Floor upon floor, their monument to deceit collapses, engulfing them under its weight. Watch now as they eat one another because they thought their union against you was impenetrable. When light floods their darkness, former accomplices run like roaches. Some frantically pack their bags, thinking that distance could rescue them. Others hurry to remove evidence, not realizing that the cosmic ledger doesn't require tangible proof. The smarter ones already get in touch with attorneys in the hopes of negotiating reduced terms by testifying against others. The weakest of them utterly collapse under the weight of justice's impending footfall. Nothing can escape them now, no matter how far away they are. The authorities' precise movements are the result of divine timing. Every frantic movement is monitored by surveillance operations. Documentation is created, and warrants are prepared. The wheels of cosmic consequence and human justice are now properly aligned. The last details needed to guarantee full accountability, names, dates, locations, and account numbers, are provided by the hospital confession. There is nowhere to flee or hide. Everyone is affected by karma. Even when disease overtook them, the person in the hospital bed made last-ditch efforts, called in favors, moved money, and made up stories to shield their reputation as death drew near, all of which were now pointless. Their legacy turns into a warning about the consequences of standing in opposition to divine will. Their name will be whispered about, serving as a reminder of the cost of such conceit. Despite everything going on around you, you are divinely protected and remain impenetrable. There was never any doubt about your safety. The troops lining up to protect your route are not limited by physical boundaries, and every attempt to enter your perimeter was greeted with spectacular failure, their attacks retaliating with increased intensity. Their irritation at not being able to get in touch with you hastened their demise. Every fresh effort buried them deeper, and every plot further cemented their doom. Some people are still refusing to comprehend, reaching out to you in a last-ditch effort. These desperate tactics, false identities, disguises, and attempts to approach through purportedly shared connections evidence a total detachment from reality. Every step is watched, and every movement is recorded. Walking within a closed cage, they behave as though they are free. Just enough leeway is given by the authorities for total self-incrimination. Those who are insane still think that escape is conceivable. It wasn't. Your name is in ledgers that mortals cannot decipher, and those who are trying to harm you cannot decipher the heavenly decoding in your blueprint. The protection that surrounds you is impenetrable and unwavering. It transcends the physical realm. You occasionally experience this during quiet times, the imperceptible barrier keeping you safe from chaotic forces that would otherwise affect your life. Hour after hour, while the bodily form in the hospital bed loses strength, the confession goes on. How someone who is so physically impaired can still talk with such urgency is a phenomenon that nurses find hard to explain. Spiritually enlightened people notice the soul's desperate unburdening prior to transition, which the medics refer to as terminal lucidity. The words flow naturally and cover every aspect of what was planned against you, including every deception, manipulation, and malicious intent. The finality of flat-lined monitors heralds the arrival of truth. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull, tap, join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership. It's your calling. Your genuine nature was never comprehended by the conspirators. They never saw the depths of your spiritual relationship. They just saw the surface reflection. They were unaware of the unseen forces at work within you, so they planned against what they could see. They did not know that you have cosmic support. They relied their odds on physical resources. They used human limitations as a basis for their strategy, but you work outside of them. They thought you walked alone, which was their worst mistake. This result was required by cosmic law as soon as they began out to harm you. That hospital bed turns into little more than the outward expression of an accounting that started the moment they opted for darkness over light. They never realized that their deeds constituted spiritual death. Therefore, they directed their guns at someone with a divine purpose. The universe just gave the consequences time to manifest in the physical world, while spiritual law is unaffected for all eternity. Authorities who had suspicions about a lot of the now confirmed information are notified by the confession. Financial records revealing odd trends, conversations intercepted through legal methods, and witnesses coming forward as the plot began to fall apart were all pieces of evidence that gradually accumulated over several months. Final confirmation is provided by the hospital confession, which turns intense suspicion into useful information. There is no chance that the case will be dismissed. Take note, raids are coming, arrests are being ready, charges are developing. People who are still plotting make crucial mistakes as a result of growing worry. They use encrypted communications and coded language because they think they are smart. Unaware that every conversation is being recorded by recording equipment, they congregate in places they believe to be safe. Unaware that such conversations guarantee their own demise, they whisper about stifling the hospital confessor. They were unable to see the spiritual gravity of their sin because of their naive pride. They choose you as their target without realizing how important you are spiritually. Where they should have recognized warning flags, they saw opportunity. They saw a place of complete security as one of vulnerability. They were aware of their physical seclusion, but they failed to see full cosmic support. They listed your limitations as a human, but they didn't see your divine link. Their inability to comprehend why their attacks failed repeatedly, their frustration at doors that should have remained open being closed, their confusion when allies abruptly withdrew support without explanation, their disbelief when physical symptoms appeared in their bodies after attempts to harm you, and their growing fear as coincidences accumulated beyond statistical probability are all revealed in the hospital confession. It was too late for them to alter their direction when they started to see patterns. They disregarded the warnings from the universe, which included minor health problems after each attempt, financial setbacks, that matched attacks on your resources, relationship breakdowns after someone tried to isolate you, dreams full of symbols that they disregarded when they woke up, and intuitions that they rationalized away. Their decision to disregard these warnings sealed their doom, because the universe always issues warnings before enacting full consequences. Most people there are unable to sense the energy that fills the hospital room. Witnesses to this accounting, spiritual presences assemble around the confession. The room temperature decreases without cause, and the monitoring devices record inexplicable variations. Sensitive people experience pressure shifts that make their skin tingle and their ears explode, as cosmic forces guarantee that this witness is complete. Despite any physical limitations, the veil thins. No matter how much the body deteriorates, this confession will be completed. Ancestral witnesses, karmic accountants, and spiritual guardians are among the unseen entities that watch over the room, in addition to the doctors, nurses, officials, and the dying confessor. With the improved vision that dying occasionally bestows, the dying person sees them now. When they realize the true nature of the audience they are confessing to, their eyes enlarge, their heartbeat quickens, and their words become more urgent. This confession clearly challenges cosmic law and goes beyond human jurisdiction. This accounting doesn't leave anything out. No information is kept secret. Names, dates, locations, bank accounts, identities taken, documents falsified, hidden intentions, or words said. Without any moderation or mitigation, the entire range of actions committed against you is revealed. Complete transparency is necessary for the cosmic ledger. Spiritual debt of this size cannot be balanced by incomplete information. The effects are not limited to the hospital room. When officials arrive with inquiries that pierce skilled lying, doors are knocked on and phones ring in residences where accomplices thought they were safe. Passports are flagged, accounts are stopped, and computers are seized. The conspiracy's infrastructure disintegrates with startling speed, as though it were being dismantled by unseen hands. People who thought of themselves as small players learn that cosmic justice does not acknowledge a hierarchy of complicity. Disconnection from spiritual truth is revealed by their shock. With enough resources and connections, the conspirators were able to traverse the human construct of accountability being optional. Accountability was not acknowledged by them as a universal constant that existed apart from human institutions. Spiritual ignorance did not absolve individuals of cosmic law. Rejection of spiritual truth did not lessen its ultimate power over physical experience, and unbelief in higher consequences did not eliminate such consequences. The reckoning comes precisely when it should. Some conspirators try to reach an agreement by providing information in return for leniency. Others assert ignorance, claiming to have little knowledge of the entire extent. Some assign guilt, shifting the blame to alleged ringleaders. And some continue to maintain their innocence in the face of overwhelming evidence. The most naive people still think that wealth or power will open doors for them to flee what is coming. If you've been touched by God's goodness, don't keep it to yourself. Click Super Thank You and sow a gift of $20 or more to help spread His light. Your giving becomes a ripple of grace, blessing hearts and building His kingdom. Let His overflow pour through you. Nobody knows what they are dealing with. Human repercussions just serve to highlight the spiritual accounting that is already taking place. Conspiracy members experience physical symptoms that are inexplicably consistent. They lose their appetite, lack energy for no apparent reason, chronic ailments suddenly worsen, new diagnoses come with startling intensity, and sleep leaves them despite taking medication. Their bodily shape increasingly reflects energy reality, revealing the spiritual rot they carried within. Medicine provides short-term control, but no permanent remedy. The hospital confessor was the first to recognize this relationship. After they took particularly heinous action against you, they received their terminal diagnosis. There was a message in the timing that they couldn't ignore. The particulars of their ailment symbolically matched their transgressions, and the advancement sped up with every chance for truth that was denied. The body turned into a tangible representation of spiritual illness, compelling them to acknowledge their transformation as a result of their decisions. When the softer messengers are disregarded, truth comes via suffering. Symbolic dreams, intuitive cues, and synchronicities are all examples of how the cosmos always starts with whispers. The volume rises when these are ignored. Relationship mirrors reflecting behavior patterns, health problems after negative conduct, and coincidental incidents with obvious messaging. It becomes impossible to ignore the communication when these are also disregarded. Serious health emergencies, devastating losses, and total system failure. As spiritual debt consumes physical form, the hospital confessor's body literally disappears as they reach the final stage of contact. You are entirely protected from the chaos that is taking on as you watch this from a safe distance. Your shield never wavered, not even when they launched their most focused attacks, when they were at their most numerous, or when they used their most effective strategies. Even though you probably felt the effects of their attempts, energy swings, unexpected exhaustion, and brief emotional upheaval, your protection remained unwavering throughout. These symbolized your shield's ability to absorb what was aimed at you rather than allowing it to penetrate. Everything was intercepted by your spiritual team. As they plotted, you moved forward. As they schemed, you rose. As they sat in the dark, you grew in the light. By creating difference, the energy they used trying to block your path encouraged your development. Their attacks unintentionally emphasized your advantages, made your path clear, and validated your importance. Their resistance turned into an inadvertent driving force behind your acceleration. Nothing is wasted in the universe. Even darkness contributes to the growth of light. The hospital confession, the collapsing conspiracy, the impending legal repercussions, the physical manifestations of spiritual corruption, the timing of revelations, the accuracy of justice, and the preservation of your path throughout are all examples of the perfection that those with spiritual understanding see in this unfolding scenario. This whole situation is an example of cosmic choreography that is beyond human orchestration. No human intellect could arrange outcomes with such poetic accuracy. The moment for your full vindication in both visible and invisible realms is drawing near. The forces at work in your experience will soon become clear to those who observed your difficulties without perceiving your protection. Those who challenged your senses will be unquestionably validated. Those who supported you in spite of appearances will rejoice in the cosmic validation of their instinctive senses. Throughout this chapter, your judgment was perfect. You sensed hidden agendas beneath pleasant presentations. You recognized energy disparities others missed. You maintained boundaries others labeled paranoid. You perceived attacks others dismissed as coincidence or bad luck. And you withdrew from connections that felt discordant despite their outward appeal. A vital navigational aid was your spiritual sensibility. The hospital confession validates all of your intuition hits. Every individual whose energy seemed tainted, every circumstance that set off internal alarms, every relationship that felt draining of energy, and every seemingly promising but secretly motivated chance. Although external validation occasionally trailed behind your assessment, your internal radar operated flawlessly. Have complete faith in this system going ahead. As this situation is resolved, you find yourself at a turning point. Confession and consequences dispel the plot against you, and the road ahead becomes clear of obstacles that once needed to be overcome. Acceleration is now possible with the energy that was previously used for protection. The forces that propel you forward change from a defensive stance to an expanding one. Beyond this clearing lies unprecedented progress. Your name is now pronounced differently by the hospital confessor, who used to not recognize it. Only when physical life begins to wane do they see you clearly, realizing too late the nature of what they were opposing. They now know the cosmic protection encircling your purpose. They see your spiritual value, and they comprehend the forces at work within you. This appreciation just serves to reaffirm their disastrous miscalculation. It offers no consolation. The spiritual aspects of this confession are beyond the comprehension of the officials who are documenting it. Without acknowledging the cosmic principles at play, they record facts pertinent to human justice. Unknowingly acting as tools for greater accountability, they construct cases in accordance with the law. They adhere to procedural rules that inexplicably coincide with ideal time for optimal impact. This procedure allows for the simultaneous operation of several aspects of justice. The raids occur at dawn, precisely at the same time in several locations. Financial records, communication logs, recorded meetings, money transfers, faked documents, recorded threats, and tangible evidence that unquestionably links each accused conspirator to the conspiracy are all examples of evidence that goes beyond what the confession disclosed. Their expressions as insight dawns invaluable cosmic poetry. The most delusional demand lawyers with indignant certainty of imminent release. Others attempt bargaining, offering names and information with increasing desperation. Others rage, revealing the true character previously concealed behind social masks. And some collapse instantly, strength evaporating as reality penetrates denial. Nobody understands the forces at work outside of the authority that are in front of them. In this case, justice has cosmic authority, yet wears a human face. The conspiracy is revealed in headlines, names are published without protection, charges are listed in black and white, legal analysts calculate possible sentences, investigative journalists reconstruct history, and a pattern is identified across previously unrelated events. The news spreads simultaneously across multiple channels. The public record is irrevocably established and cannot be erased. This everlasting documentation serves as a crystallization of their legacy. Business ties break overnight. Social invites vanish. Membership applications are abruptly denied, and former associates withdraw themselves with feigned fury and trained shock. They tried to make you feel alone, and it shows up mathematically in their world. Their lived experience is the exclusion they orchestrated against you. In its manifestation, cosmic justice frequently produces lyrical symmetry. You maintain an amazing level of calmness in the midst of all this mayhem outside. You watch the situation develop without resentful gratification or nervous expectation. You don't have to regulate how universal law is expressed in order to acknowledge its perfection. You see responsibility without regard to a particular result. You are aware that this outcome was predetermined from the minute they pitted their will against God's will. This whole situation has already been transcended by your frequency. The energy that was previously focused on this conflict is now being redirected into growth and creativity. Previously split attention is now entirely focused on contribution and purpose. The resources that were formerly defended are now used to fund expansion and development. This opposition has now clarified and strengthened the ties that were previously complicated. Now, with amazing synchrony, the previously blocked way opens. Now proceed with complete assurance that you will be protected. As physical power eventually goes altogether, the hospital confession comes to an end. The changeover is accurately and impartially registered by the machines. The medical staff determines the time of death in accordance with protocol, and the officials finish their paperwork with professional detachment. As protocols for handling bodily remains kick in, the room becomes devoid of human presence. However, there is still something fundamental that goes beyond what can be measured by tools. The confession continues in dimensions beyond material awareness and is not limited by physical boundaries. According to spiritual law, the accounting is finished. Beyond the body, the awareness that is denied in physical life manifests itself with absolute clarity. Recognizing mistakes comes with a devastating wholeness. Understanding consequences occurs without the protective shield of denial, and the reality of spiritual causality emerges without the chance of rejection. Even though you are physically apart, you can feel this change, a slight change in energy, a release of tension in the collective field, a dissipation of the gloom that pervaded this link. Your energetic awareness senses the resolution before an outside notification does, and your system detects the shift before human communication validates the physical transfer. It is still true that there is no way to avoid karmic responsibility. The hospital confession, the collapsing conspiracy, the impending legal repercussions, the physical manifestations of spiritual debt, the protection surrounding divine purpose, the inevitable resolution of energetic imbalance, the perfect timing of revelation and consequence. All of this illustrates cosmic principles operating with perfect precision through seemingly chaotic human circumstances. It is incomprehensible to us how the universe maintains order. You are now on the precipice of greater possibilities. The struggle that molded your most recent experience fulfills its goal in your path. The resistance that fortified your resolve lets go. The difficulties that made your dedication clearer end their purpose. And the barriers that cultivated your discernment vanish its shape. The energy that was once used to navigate conflict is now directed toward creativity. Unmistakable clarity comes regarding your next steps. Have complete faith in this course. The navigation system that led you through the dark is still in use in the light. The same discernment that recognized opposition also accurately identifies genuine opportunity. The same intuition that forewarned of danger also validates a beneficial connection. Despite shifting terrain, the internal compass remains dependable. Your objective never wavers, and neither does your protection. The hospital confession is only a visible expression of the invisible constants. Global responsibility, guaranteeing energetic balance, divine protection, enveloping spiritual goal, and cosmic law functioning flawlessly. Regardless of human acknowledgement, belief, or acknowledgement, these principles remain in effect. They function as underlying forces that are independent of perception or preference. Proceed in perfect harmony with your inner movements. Your concentrated progress now awaits you on the path cleared by confession and consequence. Unprecedented expansion is being fueled by the energy that was previously focused on defense. Through cooperative creation, the bonds that were maintained during the conflict are now strengthened. The previously contested objective now manifests with more force. The light that was momentarily blocked is now shining unhindered. Honor the universe's significant investment in protecting your root by making daring progress. Let the hospital confession and the ensuing fallout serve as a constant reminder. Divine purpose carries cosmic protection that is beyond human comprehension. Those who oppose it invite correction commensurate with their opposition, and those who support it receive assistance that defies rational explanation. Through unchangeable laws that go above human accountability structures, the universe preserves equilibrium.